Welcome back, Love Stylers. I'm Misty. I know you clicked on this video today because you are stubborn, impatient, and you love shortcuts. Also, you might even want to be inspired, so keep listening. I want to thank all of our new subscribers. Thank you. I love you. Mwah. And I'm so glad you tuned in today. It's going to be fun. All we want is to be healthy and happy. And ever since I started on a 90% carnivore diet a couple years ago, first started off on keto, then went over to carnivore, I love my life now. And I can give you some tips today if you want to follow your body's natural algorithm, which means, there is actually like a science, a natural science to this thing. Also, if you have trouble dieting or you hate restrictions, I know a carnivore diet sounds so strict, but it really is kind of liberating and gives you a lot of freedom in a lot of ways. So I'm going to talk about that stuff today. And also, following the natural algorithm of your personality has a lot to do with how you want to do this. So what is an algorithm? We seem to know what it means when it comes to computers. An algorithm is a set of rules to be followed for an effective result. So you can use this to your advantage. But we don't think about this concept when it comes to our own bodies, our own personality, our own preferences, and following like a very livable and enjoyable lifestyle. When you use protein principles in your life and start with the best nutrition first, as a lot of people do when they're on a carnivore or meat-based lifestyle like I am, you start to know about nutrition. You're learning about it as you go, but you really it starts to click. And I wish I knew this years ago. Years back, guys, in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, I thought that drinking made me happy. I thought that eating Sour Patch Kids, Doritos, and drinking soda was something that made me happy. I didn't know I wasn't happy. Now that I've cleaned up my lifestyle and I don't consume any of that standard American diet crap anymore, I understand and actually I know how to eat now. You start to know nutrition and you walk around with the secrets that nobody else knows or very few of us understand. So having this as a tool in your toolbox is very, very usable for a healthy and happy life. So some of the basics when you're getting to know your body's algorithm, the human body, your own personal body's algorithm, it could be your body style. It could have something to do with the genes you were born with. It could have something to do with your triggers or personality, and even your talents might have a play in this. So the basics I like to talk about on this channel are the fundamentals. Protein first, eggs, butter, bacon, beef, and fat. And it's very, very doable every single meal. A lot of people like to fast, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Water, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, making sure you have your electrolytes in your body, as in salt, magnesium, and potassium, so that you can feel balanced during the day. Of course, making sure you move your body at least a little bit. When you're on a carnivore diet, you do not have to exercise nearly as much as when you're on other diets and trying to lose weight mainly. But we are healing first when we eat this way. And some of us want to reverse engineer this and clear out the toxicity from our bodies as quickly as possible. And this is the shortcut that a carnivore diet or a protein-based lifestyle can provide. So I'm trying to clear my liver because I used to turn to alcohol for my happiness. I couldn't have one drink when it came to the booze, the beer, and the wine. Now that my body's algorithm is working in the way where it's trying to clean out all of that toxicity from years and years of abuse, I feel like it's a shortcut to weight loss and health. So a lot of people are interested in getting off their medication. A lot of people want to improve their health, their organs from the inside out. I got rid of my high blood pressure, and I used to have to take medication for my high blood pressure, and I no longer have to do that. It's one of the main things that I'm proud of when I talk about being on a carnivore diet. Protein fear and meat fear is very, very real. The struggle is real. When you think eating a lot of meat is bad for you, well, that is incorrect. I know. Let that sink in for a minute. Because when I first heard about the carnivore diet, I could not believe my ears. I was on a keto diet at the time. And when I was on a keto diet, I ate lots of giant salads, lots of vegetables. And vegetables are still a cleaner and better choice than junk food. So I was doing very well. But I reached a plateau in my weight loss, a plateau on having limitations to what I would grab to eat. I started to get crazy and make all of the keto faux desserts, the keto side dishes, the keto products that they have out there. You have to be very, very careful of all the products they're selling that say keto on them. They have bad ingredients in them. And it's taken me a few years to figure this out. So that's what led me to carnivore. But when I first heard about carnivore, I'm telling you, I didn't think it made sense. I said to myself, there is no way that eating just meat, fat, butter, bacon, and eggs for the main part of my diet is going to be healthier for me. I had grown up in the 80s. We were told all that stuff is going to make you fat. Now, I did think leaving out the crappy foods made a lot of sense because it's a typical elimination diet, as are most diets that help you get rid of the junk food in your life. If you've never thought about doing this before, I want to tell you to consider it today. And when I first heard about it, I'm telling you, I didn't believe it. I kept listening to videos. Ken Berry is my favorite carnivore on the planet. Please go see Ken Berry. And you will learn as much nutrition as you can. I don't get very sciencey on this channel, but Ken Berry can certainly help you with that. He's a doctor. In today's day and age, in 2023, we have all of the information at our fingertips. And all of the old information that is false, especially the standard American diet crap, is falling away if you notice. So do some research on your own about how good protein is for you. Now, to me, it sounds like a no-brainer, and it took me a moment to realize that makes a lot of sense. Our whole body, our cells are made of protein, and it starts with protein being the most important factor in our bodies. So it is no longer the devil. Protein is here to help us. Now, I don't necessarily mean protein shakes, and they're throwing that word around too to make you think it's good for you. And guys, I've definitely consumed protein shakes in my time, and I occasionally still indulge. But I realize it is a fake food. It is a inferior product to natural sources of protein in the way of animal protein. A few months ago, I started to watch a lot of National Geographic, and I realized, and it really hit home with me, that this is nature. Our human bodies were designed to handle protein first, lots of fat usually with it, and other nutrients after that. And when I watch other animals consume other animals, I can't say that I'm super comfortable with it. But when I realize that this is the way it is for the human body, this is what we need, it makes it a little bit easier to digest that. Our social world around us has sort of brainwashed us to think otherwise, so they can sell products to us. And it is a mind game. It is a lot of psychology. They use colors. They use emotions, mainly. They use celebrations. And they bombard us with products that make us think when we consume them, we will be happier. This is a lie, and we all fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And it's an emotional-based decision when we grab the crappy food. And it just takes me about 3 seconds to almost grab or go ahead and grab a bad food. And I'm trying to work with myself and use psychology. I have control over my psychology. I know when I'm being brainwashed. It becomes more and more evident the more you practice saying no. So you counted your yeses. Saying yes to a piece of cake. Saying yes to some Sour Patch Kids. But have you counted your no's? Which means how many times have you refused to eat the crappy foods you used to eat in your past that jacked up your gut, that jacked up your hormones, that jacked up your body's algorithm to make you gain a lot of weight, usually in the way of fat in your gut. And I still have a gut, guys. I'm no expert. I'm still learning every single day. And I have something in my back pocket that I will be wanting to share with you, but I want to make sure it works first in the way of exercise. That's very, very radical. So stick with me, guys, this year, because I plan on unveiling it in a month or two after it works very, very well. I want to make sure it works very well first before I suggest it to you. And back to the National Geographic shows, watch a few. I'm sure you have time in your busy world. Watch her for a few minutes. And even though it's kind of hard to watch an animal eat another animal, it is nature, it is natural, it is the natural algorithm of the earth. Things fall away and things are born. And our nutrition, whether we're a human animal or a four-legged animal, is kind of similar. I don't see a tiger feel guilty when he has to eat a gazelle and then feed its own children. They don't have guilt. Animals don't have guilt. And the human mind is funny. We do have guilt over this, but it is not a moral issue. This is the way it has to be for those of us who are trying to heal our bodies the very fastest way possible. Those of us who are stubborn and those of us who hate dieting and measuring things like myself. If I had to measure something to be on a diet to help me get healthier, I don't think I would last very long at all. When you practice a carnivore or even keto diet, you have to find out what your own algorithm is all about. What makes you tick. Now, that doesn't mean you can't change for the better, but it takes small steps. Like for me, if I had to measure a cup of carrots and a cup of celery, and that's all I could have, I'm out. I don't like that type of restriction. Now, I enjoy a different type of restriction that says I can only eat these foods: protein, eggs, and dairy, for example, like on a carnivore diet, like I practice. But I can have as much as I want until I'm full. And that works better for me because I know my own personality. So knowing yourself helps a great deal, but also knowing that you can make small pivots and you can test this out and you can experiment. And when you have the keys to the kingdom of your own body's algorithm, when you know the formula and you have the cheat codes to your own body's algorithm and it works for you, it is very, very empowering. And then you get to expand out during other parts of your life and watch it work for you there as well. And sometimes you might just be a little bit like, I told you so. And I don't mind a little bit of controversy when I eat mostly meat in front of people and they kind of look at you, especially like if you're out with friends or family at a restaurant And they say, oh, you don't eat bread? Oh, are you going to eat any vegetables today? No, I'm just going to eat meat today. That's what I like, and it's working for me, and it's healing so many things for me, and I love my life now. So yeah, I'm going to have just meat and eggs today. Oh, okay. And you plant that little seed and get them thinking at least. I'll give you an example of a day in the life of Misty. I love how I feel when I eat meat. And I remember being a kid and chewing on the bones of my dad's steak after he was done eating it. And I always loved meat, beef especially. And if it doesn't make you feel great to eat heavier meats, some people will gravitate towards fish or shellfish or even chicken. And some of us like pork. So mine is basically pork and beef for my two choices, my two favorite meats. Now that works for me and keeps me on track. I occasionally, about 10% of the time, have like a sweet potato once a week. Or I will have a piece of fruit occasionally. Now I know that works for me and that still keeps me on track. It's a little bit of something off plan and that really helps me thrive health-wise while I'm doing this, while I'm living this lifestyle. I want to talk about fasting for a minute. If you feel that fasting is difficult, I would ask you, how many times have you tried it? And then I would ask you to try it again, maybe. Now, for some people, fasting is too extreme and they feel like they're going to pig out and go off the rails and eat junk foods when it's time to feed again. So knowing your body's algorithm here is very helpful, especially with fasting. I feel like for me personally, what I have found, if I fast for long periods of time, it's easier for me to have just like one meal a day lately. And I can use ketosis to my benefit. And it really helps my body burn the best fuel that it wants to burn, which is ketones. If you have any questions or anything to add to the rest of us, please put it in the comments. You may have something that I've never tried in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. Stick around for my truth bomb in about 30 seconds. We want positivity in our lives. If you're anything like me, you're looking for inspiration, and that's why you came here today. Hopefully, I'm adding some to your life. The emotional content has everything to do with what you're consuming. If you are not consuming good, inspirational, motivational, positive, emotional content, then your body's algorithm will be off, especially if that's what you thrive on, like I do. So even reading books that are going to help you, self-help stuff, I'm all into it. Inspirational, spiritual stuff, I'm into it. Prayer, meditation, getting outdoors and putting a little bit of time for exercise, moving your body. That has something to do with the algorithm. They say if you have stuck energy in your body, that when you move in different ways, whether you're playing sports, running, walking, dancing, that it moves out of your body. You get rid of the toxicity, not only with food, but with vibes. And don't forget about music. Nothing can move us like music can. And I have to listen to more music, guys. I'm a musician and I appreciate it. And I want to get better at it. And check us out if you haven't. Go to blackeyedsoul.com or check out Black Eyed Soul on any streaming platform. Tell us if you like us. And my truth bomb today is I know how to feed my body the best nutrition that is out there. When you learn how to eat properly and give your body the nutrition it needs first, and you have this tool for the rest of your life, this knowledge, this nugget of wisdom that most people don't know, it is very empowering. It's fun to experiment when you're eating on a meat-based lifestyle and try different things to see what happens if you're anything like me. Learning about how easy this can be for a fulfilled and happy life will be the best thing you ever looked into, ever. I'm 51 years old and I've never been happier in my life. I wish I knew about the carnivore diet when I was younger. So I'm here to tell you, look into it, guys. You will not regret it. And at least if you don't do 100%, you will learn how to eat and how your body's algorithm is not that hard to figure out. It's just a pattern that works. Thank you for tuning in to Lovestyle today. We'll see you next time. Peace.